Good afternoon, everybody. So I want to go over Mel Kiper's most recent NFL mock draft. It is now mock draft season. It is NFL draft season. And I'm going to get more and more focused on this draft as we get closer and closer to the actual day, which is now months away. But when I came across Mel Kiper's draft, I figured let's see who Mel thinks we should draft. I'll give my thoughts on the entire situation. And honestly, you saw the title of this video. I like his pick, and I will discuss why I do like this pick. So let me read the excerpt from the Packers. I'm not doing the entire mock draft. That would take a very long time. Maybe in the future, as I dive more into lots of these prospects. I'm just starting to slowly get into all these guys and interesting things about them and who I prefer for the Packers. And I will make more NFL draft content for the Packers specifically, maybe other teams as well. Sort of overall things going forward as I gain more knowledge up here. But first off, let's get to the actual excerpt. So the Packers, as we know, pick 15th. And here is Mel Kiper's excerpt on the player here. And it is Michael Mayer, tight end, Notre Dame. And I made a video on him like 3 days ago. So to see Mel Kiper also liking this idea, it makes me excited if for this possibility. So he says here, why not a tight end here? Regardless of whether Aaron Rodgers is back as a quarterback, Robert Tonyan and Mercedes Lewis are free agents. This is true. And this is a major hole on the roster. I agree. The tight end class is really good this year with Mayer atop my board. He is a complete player who put up 809 yards and 67 catches with 9 touchdowns in 2022. He can stretch the middle of the field and run past linebackers on seam routes. The only downside is that he doesn't have super long arms. Oh well. But he's ahead of the game as a pass catcher. Green Bay could also use younger talent in the front seven. So when I made I made a couple of videos the past few days. Michael Mayer was one of the videos I already made a video on. So if you've saw that, you already know sort of my thoughts on him. And I really am leaning towards right now at this moment. It's the end of January. Maybe I change my mind. We'll see. But I really, really love this idea of bringing in Michael Mayer here to Green Bay. I think when you already look at the young weapons we have here, Christian Watson going into year 2, Romeo Doubs going into year 2, they're going to take leaps and bounds and steps to become better overall. And honestly, when you look at teams in the NFL these days, it's sort of been like this always, but you need many different weapons. Times throughout the season, players get injured. You need other guys to step up. So not only does it help to have a plethora of talented receivers, when we look at some teams in the NFL, especially these teams here when it comes to the AFC and NFC championship games, they have very talented tight ends who can really dominate in the passing game. And so I think for the Packers, who haven't really had an elite caliber tight end, I love Robert Tonyan, I love Mercedes Lewis, but none of them are really, I think, that elite caliber, Travis Kelce, George Kittle type player. And it seems like Michael Mayer has that potential. Obviously, he has to come in, get the job done, improve, be better. But I really like the possibility of what could be with Michael Mayer. Whether it's Aaron Rodgers, whether it's Jordan Love, and Mel Kiper seems to think that could also be a good idea as well. And as I was mentioning the different tight ends in the AFC and NFC championships, let me just show you here. So when it comes to these tight ends, we of course have Travis Kelce on the Chiefs. He is ranked number 1 when it comes to receiving grade among tight ends per PFF. George Kittle on the 49ers ranked number 2 when it comes to receiving grade per PFF. And the Philadelphia Eagles' Dallas Goedert, who maybe at this time doesn't have the same name recognition or dominance that a Kelce or Kittle have, but he is ranked number 4 overall when it comes to tight end receiving grade. So those are 3 of them. And then just to shout out Bengals, Hayden Hurst, he's number 32. So not quite up there, but 3 of the 4 teams have players who are in the top of their game when it comes to receiving grades for tight ends. And I mentioned this the other day, but for the Packers, their tight ends receiving grades, Robert Tonyan 60th. He's a fine player. I think he's a good player, but he's not that elite caliber, I would say. Maybe he can become that. I just don't see it happening, and I would love to have him back here, and I think he's a solid tight end, but I don't think he's quite at that Kelce Kittle level. Josiah DeGuara 50th, and the Mercedes Lewis 95th when it comes to receiving grade. So that's why I like the idea of Michael Mayer here, because I think that going forward in the future, let's say, for example, that Rodgers isn't here. Who knows? We already know this. We don't know what's going to happen here. But let's say Rodgers is gone. I think that you can do nothing better for a young QB than to give as much talent as possible around him. So if Jordan Love does come in here and start, of course he already has Watson and Dobbs, but to be able to add another player who he can grow with in his next couple of years, like a Michael Mayer, it's going to make this Packers offense that much harder to stop, considering we still have Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. And I think that the tight end, elite tight end, is what the Packers are missing. One of the areas the Packers are missing, and I think round 1 for the Packers, why not take a chance? Why not go after a pass-catching tight end in a Michael Mayer who can also get it done when it comes to the blocking game from all that I've seen and heard and read around. So those are my thoughts. I love the idea. Please let me know your thoughts down below. If you think it's a terrible idea, please let me know. If you love the idea, let me know, because I'm always curious to hear everyone's thoughts, because I know we all have different opinions, and it's fun to hear every single person's point of view. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll be out with more draft content as the offseason goes by, so make sure you subscribe, turn on the post notifications. We're getting closer to 25,000 subscribers. I think we're at like 24,400, so I appreciate all you. Let's see if we can get to 25,000 in the next month or so. But that's all I have for this video. Appreciate you guys. Follow me on Twitter, Luke_Beller, for random things at times. But that's all I have for this video, and I'll see you guys next time.